it. Hey, yo.
xQc, did you get her Battle.net account back?
Some people need to
Not
go,
yet.
this camera angle. They keep doing this camera angle. I didn't sign up for none of this shit.
So I'm walking into eliminations. I don't even know where you've been with this raggedy bitch.
I don't chase, I attract. I've never liked someone and they didn't like me.
Has been exposed to it for what? Oh, it has been do.
Shot my shot, I've never missed.
What would I do with $100,000? Shit. Probably pay these girls to come compete for Juicy's love. I want to get this guy married.
Chat, what would y'all do with $100,000? Chat, what would y'all do with $100,000?
They both got botted. So, Asmon gets botted and that's exposed, and I don't get it. I'm confused. What even happened? Peanut 2? I mean, somebody botted everybody. I mean, it is what it is. Please don't butt me. I would hate this. Don't butt me. Please, man. I hate when the bots kick in.
Little baby goo.
It ruins my day.
Now we set it up again, but this time
Set up a craft with
not
Jesse
bad.
Pagman. Set up a craft with Jesse
I don't think it
Pagman.
works in the
Set
store
up a
because he just
craft.
back away. You come on?
Yeah, true.
Look at most what?
No, Chi, I think we
I
just.
think we just need
Look
to
at
make it-
most viewed streamer. I know how to do that. You go to what? Live channels? Is this all channels though? Ah, yes. What the fuck? 200K? No, that's the GOAT. Jesus.
In one of the most ironic social media posts of all time, ASMONGOLD makes the claim, in response to Mehdi Hassan, that the average IQ in Somalia is 68, and that this claim isn't racist, but a fact. What makes this post ironic is the very last bit, where Zach claims Hassan's tweet is an attempt to push a narrative. Well, not only is this ASMONGOLD's attempt to push a narrative, but the claim itself that African people have low IQs is also an attempt to push a narrative. That number typically traces back to the work of Richard Lynn. This guy, a literal, self-described scientific racist. This man was part of a secret eugenics conference where, and I'm not joking, there were people favorably arguing in favor of pedophilia. So, yeah, this is the guy ASMONGOLD is quoting. Lynn published a paper in 1982.
I mean, I guess.
This is the guy ASMONGOLD is quoting. Lynn published a paper in 1982 called IQ in Africa in the pseudoscientific journal The Mankind Quarterly, a white supremacist outlet that is currently maintained
Well, I
by
mean,
the
I'm watching the video. I mean, he quotes the work of this guy and this book of Africa, but it's not okay. Okay, I'm not defending anybody. I'm not defending anybody. But the tweet said Somalia, and this guy talks about Africa. I failed to. Is that where he pulled this quote from? Is that where he pulled whatever? I have no dog. I guess I give a shit. I think Asmon's tweet is bad, and I disagree with it. I mean,
hilariously named Human Diversity Foundation, a far-right white nationalist company. In this journal, Flynn argued that the IQ of sub-Saharan Africa was around
even if it is, it doesn't. Oh man, I'm over it. I'm more coming into the video. Chat is just being dumb.
Notice I said
no shit in Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa. Yes, Lynn's argument was that a continent that consists of about 50 countries all had a similar very low IQ. The obvious problem with this argument is that Africa is huge and there are over 1 billion people with over 1,000 different ethnic groups. Nigeria alone has more than 200 ethnic groups, and that's a single country. Do you think Lynn tested every ethnic group in Nigeria, let alone the rest of the continent? Yeah, me neither. Anyway, the important part is other psychologists went back and actually checked Lynn's work. Wichards, Dolan, and Von.
Yo, I don't even know what. I'll just let the video play. This guy's dumb. Sorry. Yo, I don't even agree with what was said. I don't agree with this either.
Samples. What they found was that because African countries are developing countries, they hadn't experienced the variables that cause the Flynn effect, such as improvements to nutrition, healthcare, and even toys. In other words, the environment is the most relevant variable in determining one's IQ score, not genetics. But let's rewind for a second because I mentioned something that you all may not be familiar with, the Flynn effect. The Flynn effect is the observed rise in IQ scores over time. Basically, if you gave an average person from 1901 a modern IQ test, they would score dramatically lower than the people of today.
What? Similar to Asmon? No, I think you're missing the point. You're missing the point. But he said it in a very. Just forget it, man. I'm getting rage baited. You're just being. I know I'm being rage baited. I know.
Because IQ tests measure certain types of abstract reasoning, pattern recognition, and problem solving that modern societies.
Yes, it completely undermines how it gets there, how it got there. It's a portrayal. Almost of intention or some shit or some, but, and I get that. It's why Asmon is a bad tweet. Yes. But if something is something, if X is X, yeah, I get it. How it got there is completely different, but X is still X. So I disagree with both. I disagree with Asmon. I disagree with this guy.
Train us in constantly.
I disagree, sorry.
A quick voyage over the cognitive history of the 20th century, because during that century our minds have altered dramatically.
Okay, then I will give you an example then, okay? In this country that I'm an event...
Just debunk it and do your own research.
In the country that I made last time, Landia, okay? The sun goes straight down and people are fucking blind, okay? People are fucking blind. Most people that live there are half blind because the sun beams their eyes. Okay. Some guy on Twitter says, not Asmon, somebody else, says, yo, dude, the people of this country score 1 out of 5 on eyesight test. I'm like, okay, I guess. And then, right? Is it? Well, it's because the sun. It's because this. Yes, I agree with you. I absolutely agree. But the final result, the actual stat, is that the statement is still correct. And I'm not defending anybody. I'm just saying that the portrayal of this YouTuber is wrong, and the portrayal of Asmon are both equally wrong. Because it's still factually correct in that length. And I'm not debating, I didn't even check the information. I didn't check the research. I'm just telling you that if it's correct, it's correct. The portrayal and the way you're gonna use the information is up to you. And if you want to do it deliberately in an evil way, then you're an evil person. If you want to do it in a way that's uncharitable, and you want to be an asshole about it, I mean, you're an asshole. But does that make sense?
As you all know, the cars that people drove in 1900 have altered because the roads are better and because of technology. And our minds have altered too. We've gone from people who confronted a concrete world and analyzed that world primarily in terms of how much it would benefit them, to people who confront a very complex world. And it's a world where we've had to develop new mental habits, new habits of mind. Now, this dramatic change was drawn to my attention through massive IQ gains over time. And these have been truly massive. That is, we don't just get a few more questions right on IQ tests. We get far more questions.
My take is insane. What do you think happened with the world IQ and fucking lead usage? Go to the place that have more lead usage. Massive loss of IQ. Or you say, well, it's because of the lead pipes. Okay, yes, correct. That is absolute. It is still fucking true. If a place still uses lead pipes, and I'm on lead pipes, and they have 4 IQ, okay, fuck, the lead pipes are shit. The environment is shit, and I feel bad with it. But the IQ would be 4, and so be it. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about here? But is it true? I guess we're about to find out.
Right on IQ tests in each succeeding generation back to the time that they were invented. Indeed, if you score the people a century ago against modern norms, they would have an average IQ of 70. If you score us against their norms, we would have an average IQ of 130. Now, this has raised all sorts of questions. Were our immediate ancestors on the verge of mental retardation? Because 70 is normally the score for mental retardation. Or are we on the verge of all being gifted? Because 130 is the cutting line for giftedness.
James Flynn, the political scientist who documented this pattern, showed that IQ scores increased roughly 3 points per decade in many countries throughout the 20th century.
Okay.
So, if IQ were purely genetic and fixed, that kind of rapid change would be impossible. Evolution doesn't
What?
in fixed throughout the 20th century. So, if IQ were purely genetic and fixed, that kind of rapid change would be impossible. Evolution does not move that fast. Your great-grandparents were not biologically inferior to you. They just lived in a world with less formal education, less exposure to abstract symbols, less complex media, and different cognitive.
This guy's he's dismissing a lot of other phenomenons. No, I disagree as well. Sorry, I agree. I'm going to disagree. Sorry.
Demands, which means IQ scores are sensitive to the environment and improve when the environment improves. Access to schooling, nutrition, healthcare, the complexities of daily life, all of these things are relevant, and none were accounted for in Lynn's work. Because of course they weren't. Lynn was a self-described scientific racist. His goal was to show how inferior black people were. Richard Lynn's work on race and IQ heavily influenced The Bell Curve, a 1994 book by psychologist Richard J. Hearn.
Yes. The fucking dumbass genetic correlation. Oh, if this, then that is not, it's branded. Yes, this is incorrect. But I think that's kind of beside the point, though.
Einstein and political scientist Charles Murray that argued intelligence is largely shaped by genetics with some environmental influence, and that IQ is a stronger predictor of life outcomes, income, job success, crime, out-of-wedlock births, than the socioeconomic status you were born into.
I literally said a million times that Asmon is wrong. I literally have said that. It's poor contextualization, and it's just insensitive and genuinely problematic. I did that off the rip. But this video is also
Your
wrong.
house might have lead pipes. You should check on the xQcl.
Because we stopped using lead, our IQ is recovering. That is also that is a fact. It is factual that if you were to put those stats, you can say, yes, we are recovering from the use of lead. Less lead, more IQ. The global IQ is still recovering from this.
If you're not happy with the entire debunk.
That's it. But so to dismiss all the phenomenons that could affect IQ to, it cannot be raised as much, is also incorrect. This is also an incorrect proposal or portrayal. I don't give a shit. It's just wrong. What about it?
And for downplaying environmental variables, treating socially constructed racial categories as biological truth. Richard Lynn was one of the primary scholars who compiled and popularized
What do I have? Yo. Use of lead and IQ. We watched a video. We watched a video about this. Lead exposure, particularly in early childhood, is well documented in neurotoxin that causes significant prevent reduction in IQ and cognitive function. Blah 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 blah.
xQc.
How many IQ points total did potentially affect? Is there a fucking 2 to 6? That is significant. If you're gonna get a video like this that we're watching right now, right? Where is it? Right? In this instance, right? Where the total scale is to 25, 2 to 6 is absolutely relevant and weighs in the scale. I said when you add all those up, it makes something. You cannot just dismiss, this would never do this. I'm gonna dismiss everything. You can't just do that. You can't. And it's also is it not per year? What is it? I hate reading it. I'm not gonna read all this. when I'm on stream, I don't read this shit. You know, how much? Up to 6 points. We're talking about potentially 25% of the result of that chart. 1/4, and you're just gonna dismiss that? And that's not, that doesn't even comprise of all the other shit. Like 90% of people born between 1951 and 80 had blood lead levels. That's fucking insane. That's fucking insane. Oh, it's racist. That has nothing to do with race. It has to do with the methodology. What is, how you're gonna, bro, I'm kind of busy to do. He's a fucking brain dead.
Parents were not in, were later cited approvingly by the bell curve authors Murray and Herrnstein. In fact, Murray has explicitly acknowledged Lynn's
for it to be mean and generalize Somali
That's
people
what I said.
in general. What do you think IQ of people who are Somali but live in other countries? The number Asmon said was just to be insensitive.
That's what I said. I word for word. You can say he's right. And when I said this exact quote earlier, you cooked me for it. What about? I word for word said the portrayal was insensitive. It was bad. It's uncharitable. And if you're going to do this and be evil, it makes you evil. I literally said that.
Work as part of the research base for their claims about group IQ differences. The problem is not simply that Lynn held extreme views, including open support for eugenics, but that his data practices have been widely criticized for flaws in its methodology. Upon reviewing Lynn's work, Witchert states the following. The assertion that the average IQ of Africans is below 70 is not tenable, even under the most lenient of inclusion criteria. Because Lynn missed a sizable portion of the relevant literature, there...
Oh, what about Asians? What about Asians? Did you trying to get this, like, you have this, like, weird racist, like, super, like, race-focused view? It's gotta be genetics. Bro, we live in the West. Over there, they're fucking locked in, okay? Over there, okay, their children, they might give them a book. I know it sounds weird. Over here in America, they give the people guns, right? Over there, they might give them a book, and they're locked in. What else about it? They're locked in. I mean, what else, man?
Estimate of average IQ of Africans is clearly too low. Combined, the current systematic review and the results of our review of Raven's test suggests that the average IQ of African test takers is close to 80. We believe that the accuracy of estimates of national IQ of sub-Saharan African countries can be improved considerably.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, why do you even bother fucking getting the standardized test that they made for fully developed countries? Why would you why wouldn't you just remake the test for its current understanding things in other places, per country, per zone? Like, why would you just do that? I mean, clearly these people they have an agenda and a goal in mind. I mean, what
Richards is saying here is that Lynn conducted bad science and that the average estimated IQ of poverty-stricken African people is actually close to average, which is usually defined as between 85 to 115. If their environment...
IQ tests are fucking brain dead. Literally, the people that have come up with it, the people that make this shit, literally say it's dog shit. You go in psychology, they'll tell you it's trash. Nobody gives a fuck, okay? Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Improves, so too with their average IQ scores, due to the Flynn effect. And remember, we are talking about countries that have faced civil war, famine, disrupted schooling, disease, and extreme poverty, not to mention constant exploitation by Western countries that literally persists to this day. The phone you're watching this video on contains cobalt, a chemical element that is abundant in the Congo. This element is mined using child labor in the Congo, and not only does this mining degrade the
nurture debate. What do you get from DNA and what do you get from social experiences / living environments?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm not scientist. I would even debate that IQ, when it comes down to whether you're spawn smart. Forget about genetics of whatever the fucking race, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's say we're all fucking green. We're all, we live on, we're all Shrek. Everybody's Shrek. We're all green. Fuck it. Okay? There's no white, black, we're all Shrek. Okay? I would assume there's going to be a slight change in either 1% or the other. Slight off of genetics, but a lot of it is just nurture, the way you develop. Early stage development, what is put in front of you, how you're raised, how you're guided, what environment are you put in. That is everything you are. The fact that you think you spawned in, fucking Thanos locked in, is cringe. It is so cringe. Everything you are everything around you. That's crazy. You think, oh yeah, these guys are born in, they're not smart. Like, okay, and what are you? You don't even know what you're from. You don't know what you are. I'm white, dude. Like, I can't debate this anymore. I'm gonna lose my shit.
It results in birth defects of the children born there, as they have high levels of cobalt and uranium in their blood. In 1996, the American Psychological Association's Task Force on Intelligence explicitly warned that environmental factors such as education, nutrition, and health significantly influence IQ test performance.
Well,
if you ignore those variables and jump straight to biology, well, you're...
Anybody who ignores those variables is a fucking brainlet. If you ignore those variables, it proves that you are sub 70 IQ. You want to call people the fucking R word, say, yo, retard. Buddy, retard! Let's give it a buck. If you want to completely dismiss it, the retard arrow goes right back to you. You went full retard right there. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, Jesus.
Not following the science. So this brings us back to Zach's tweet. Yes, this claim is racist because it was made by a racist whose entire purpose was to denigrate an entire continent to uphold white supremacist narratives like eugenics. The claim wasn't a fact because facts survive scrutiny.
Okay. I'm not.
They don't collapse.
Forget it. Yeah, I feel like even if when I say things clearly, people miss it and they'll say, oh, then racist or whatever. Yo, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying this guy says scrutiny. Well, if I were to apply scrutiny here, he says, systematic review, African takers, whatever, sub-Saharan, whatever. Yeah, but that's not really what this says either, though. If I were to give scrutiny to this as much as that, well, one says African, whatever, and this one says Somali. If you want me to apply scrutiny, I have to do it across the board. Otherwise, I'm being biased, and I'm a fuckhead. So,
the claim wasn't a fact because facts survive scrutiny. They don't collapse the moment you ask who collected the data and whether other researchers could replicate those results. If your worldview requires Somalia or any other African country to be permanently capped at 68 IQ in order to make sense, then the science wasn't the point. The conclusion is, and that, ironically, is narrative pushing.
True, but he also used incorrect information to get there, so also incorrect. It is what it is. I would debate this guy any day. I would have been on the fly about this. I don't give a fuck. It's yes. This is the conclusion, and the way he got there was an error. So he points it that this tweet was the conclusion, and how he got there's an error. Yes, but you too. So no points for nobody. Everybody loses. I also lose. I lost IQ watching this video. Okay, you want me to apply scrutiny? Then give me this study, where it's from, and how it was conducted, on whom. What?
ASMONGOLD.
What Discord? What about it?
Agreed with most of what the guy said until he attacked your co-worker.
Who co-worker? I don't care about Asmon. Bro, do you know that if you go to my fucking VODs, go to my videos, I have disagreed with almost every single Asmon take. Oh, I call them out for every take. They're inaccurate. So I say it's too much, it's too far. I've been disagreeing almost every time because his takes have shifted a little bit, and I think it's too far. I think his portrayal is it is what would you call it? What do I debug? I'm not agreeing with the conclusion. Saying the debunker lied. The source number. So that's the source then? Okay. Intelligent Somali refugees in Kenya. Yeah, but that's also the even if that sample size, the sample is biased. Sorry, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's brain dead. If you take a class of methodology, then you present this, they would kick you the fuck out. Get out of my office, and you're done. You're fired from the school. They don't give a shit about you. Okay, this is brain dead. Sorry. The Birdman did not use that source. Okay, then what did he use then? No. That was Asmon's source, and this guy is saying that this old guy was Asmon's source when it's not. This talks about something 80, something whatever, points to some shit that doesn't correlate with it. No, it does not. It absolutely does not. Guys, he's saying that Asmon's quote comes from this book and this person. Clearly, the quote comes from this shit. That's not even completely incorrect. I mean, this is a lot closer in terms of presented stats than the other one. So, also incorrect. I'm not defending Asmon. I attacked everybody. The quote is more likely to come from this document than it comes from the other guy, racist, whatever. So, whatever this guy says about the guy is incorrect. I mean, what? Read the names, okay? Oh, it's the same guy. But I think it's at this book, though. It doesn't matter. It's about the book, the whatever, when it's the wrong thing. Why not just get the correct thing? Why not take the correct thing? Why misportray then?
Somalia's average IQ is 67, and here is why it's so low. The foundation is a 49% inbreeding rate, a tribal norm used to consolidate power. This inbreeding depression restricts the gene pool and lowers cognitive potential before conception. Even outside this genetic pool, poor maternal health stunts brains in the womb. Only 12% of women get prenatal care, and 1.5 midwives per 10,000, far below global standard, leave fetal malnutrition untreated. Once born, the deficit is locked in by a chronic nutrition gap. With 1 in 4 children stunting, the brain is starved.
Chat, I don't care what any stat fucking is of any, I don't give a shit. Okay, if you dumb down an entire nationality off of some fucking paper of some shit of whatever, you're a loser. I don't give a fuck. So yes, Asmon is incorrect. I'm not gonna go, we're talking about Somali. 60 IQ.
Why do you disagree with us?
Bro, we do this shit in fucking preschool, okay? We do this shit when we are quantifiably, scientifically, and psychologically fucking retarded. So then, stop calling people retards when the behavior presented to get this conclusion is being fucking retarded. Done. Boom. I mean, what else?